So, first time, long time. I'll jump right into it. I've been dating a girl for about 5 months, and the problem I'm having is she busts hardest when she's riding me. Now, that's not necessarily a problem, but the problem is she rides aggressively. To compound to that, she wants me to grab her hip and slam her down on me when she's fucking me as hard as possible. Adding to that, she does this little hip flick at the end.
Okay, man.
I swear to God, it hurts like nothing I've ever experienced.
Right.
It feels like she's about to snap my dick off. I'm trying different things, like adjusting angle. I tried moving my hips up, tried putting my legs up to try and fix that.
Doing a bridge.
Told, no, get those down. I'm coming in for the thunder.
Yeah.
So where I'm at is she's a self-conscious person. I don't want to ruin her favorite position.
Sure.
How do I bring this up to her without hurting her feelings and keeping my member intact?
Mm-hmm.
Additionally, I come the hardest when I fuck her in the ass.
Oh,
it's
Jesus
just a fair
Christ.
trade situation. Thanks,
Whoa. Don't try and sneak that in there. He's got a fucking treatise on every angle that this girl is like, and by the way, I like to fuck her in the ass. I come the hardest when that's crazy. And for you to try and make an equivalence of a woman riding you and you fucking her ass, that's just, buddy, that's apples and oranges. I hate to break it to you.
I do like that he's linking it with the pain. He's like, she's hurting my dick. Yeah, I'll hurt her ass a little. That's how we get off. Where's the middle ground?
No, brother, this is not a fair trade. Okay, let's start there. Go, Mandal, you have some thoughts?
Well, my thoughts is probably around the thing, which is probably
sure. No, please go ahead.
Have you ever had someone where you had a follow up where you answer the thing and then you hear their response from the person they're talking about, hearing it on the podcast?
Maybe a couple times people have called in together, but we've never had. That's true. We've never had like a different. Maybe there's been one thing I'm not thinking of where somebody called in to sort of defend themselves. But more so we get them responding. We don't really get, like, we've never gotten, for example, the girlfriend's perspective here. No, which I would be fascinated. But my dream is to actually be able to, one of the first versions of this show was almost like a judge show where everybody comes and gives me their take. And I would love to do some version of that. I don't want to swagger jack Miss Pat right now. She's got Miss Pat settles it. Yeah. And I would kind of be stealing her whole thing, if I'm being honest. So I'm going to let that, she does it until she wants. Maybe it's like Family Feud where it's like, I can take over Miss Pat settles it. It could be Stavi settles it. I could be the next host of BET's Stavi settles it. And everything's the same. It's just me. That would be fucking awesome.
Man, you should come up with a Greek TV channel.
Yeah. GET. I wouldn't want to fucking deal with all those. That's too many Greeks for me, man. There's only a couple good ones. Now, this guy, which I would love to get this girl's take. Now, should we discuss the fact that he comes the hardest when he fucks her? I mean, that's kind of nuts. That's kind of crazy. Also, what do you mean the hardest? Listen, that's the thing about dudes. Let's be very clear. Sure, there's things you like more than others, but it's like a guy busts the same whether he's fucking, unless you're Sting and you're doing tantric sex for 10 hours or whatever, but it's like, you don't come hard. Women come harder. Men come the same. Let's be fucking honest. You just like fucking. You just like butt fucking, and that's fine. No, there's no judgment here. I just don't appreciate you trying to pretend that these two things are the same. And I've been there. I know when I ultimately think you kind of have to take one for the team here. If this is how she busts, and we're probably talking about in a total, and look, how painful is it? I don't know. I've had to be like, I have a fucked up penis famously. I've discussed that. I've had to be like, hey, chill. Getting a spam phone call. I've had to pause and be like, whoa, I need a little breather for my fucked up dick. But I've gotten right back in the zone. And ultimately, I think the fact that you have a key to your girl busting is more than most Many would kill to be in your position. The fact that you know your girl can bust in a certain way, I think you just need to tell her, hey, sometimes it fucking, but you have what you need. You just have to discuss. Don't be afraid to just share something. And if she's self-conscious, that's one thing. You're like, hey, this is awesome. Can we just figure a couple things out here? Because I'm sure you can find a middle way if you're just a little vocal, if it's not all or nothing.
I bet there's some pelvic bracing that could go on for this guy. That's not the full-on bridge where she's still in the same position, but he's like,
maybe you need a pillow under your hips for a change. You know what I mean? Something like that. Maybe we need a specific ergonomic fuck pillow. Maybe your dick's not hard enough, pal. I hate that. Let's be honest. Let's really fucking, let's throw our cards out on the table. What the fuck is the expression? Whatever. It's a positive because listen, I know that if my dick's not very hard, it really shows itself when I'm being ridden, for example. There's no way you can kind of finesse a wiggly penis when you're on top, but when somebody else is making use of your penis as a tool, maybe your dick's not hard enough. And can we do something there? Can we increase blood flow? Can we get our vascularity better? And then look, if the fact that you like anal sex is just a different conversation. So let's not put these two together. When you talk to her about this, don't propose a trade where it's like, hey, you get to bust and I get to fuck your ass whenever I want. Not an equivalence, because I'm guessing you're busting from traditional, intercourse. But I think that's my take on it. Is you just have to have a convo. You have to think about all the elements here. And if this is the way she busts, you got to figure something out here, because that's a nice thing to have in a long-term relationship. Maybe you could do a little aggressive finger popping. I'm sure they're related. I'm sure you can achieve certain same goals that way. Just thinking of my own experiences.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, that's I think that's what I would counsel the man on. Man, you have no direct takes here.
Yeah, I really don't, man.
Yeah.
I was listening to bro, and he was having so much fun.
He was pretty technical about it too.
He was having so much fun, and I did think, like you said, he did go super detailed, and then at the last minute said his thing and then hung up.
Yeah,
I was like,
that was a little nuts.
Slick.
That caught me a little off guard.
That wasn't slick. We caught you.
I do appreciate it, because I do think we're in similar space. Like, I think me and you are both sort of fascinated by like a type of retro fat guy unk type
Totally.
of
for sure.
But I appreciate about you is that you have a wholesomeness, because there's very typically that kind of older unk scumbag uncle, like not quite a dad, kind of like literally your uncle that's around. Oftentimes there's a horny energy attached to it. And I like that you keep it pure. For you, it's about the aesthetics. There's hints of horniness, but there's no outward displays of horniness.
Honestly, bro, I think I'm one of them people who, because most of my stand-up career is gigs.
Yeah.
I think I'm still stuck in the like, keep it clean.
Keep it clean.
If you want to work,
yeah,
bro.
yeah.
If you want to work,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? When you don't got an audience, bro, it's a lot of like, I can work gigs.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's true. That is I definitely ran up against that a lot early in my career.
Totally.
Shout out to Tom Papa, who is not a clean comic, but people thought of him that way. And I opened for him for years. And the one time a lady was like, your opener was disgusting. And he was like, fuck you, lady. He fully had my back. It was awesome.
Man,
He's the
cool.
man for that.
Yeah. But it's really just more about that, though.
I see.
I just be trying to like.
Okay.
I be so scared. Like, if I have to go back to colleges and churches, I don't want to look up the files and be like, never mind. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sure. I respect that. Okay, nice. So there might be a horny unveiling with Mandal in about a decade.
I don't think I've heard them two words.
Because that really is sort of the final unk form, is just being sort of, and there's a passive horniness to it where it's not aggressive. You're just always a little horny, and you're always just looking at, it's like when you see an old fat guy just like It looks like he's reading. Usually, he's watching the most intense pornography you've ever seen in your life. I do feel like there is like Patrice had an old bit about being like an old creep or like an undercover creep, where it's just I'm trying to remember. He's just like in a park bench looking at like a woman's like ankles or something. You know what I mean? And he's just like, I got to find that bit. That is kind of what we're describing. Anyway,